Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the West Coast versus GWS game, in which the result was pretty much known before kickoff or first bounce. GWS smashing them by 65 points in the end. 16 goals, 12-108 to 5 goals, 13-43. West Coast again just showing that they could put it up for about a quarter and then really fell away. And in the end, it looked pretty convincing for GWS. So before we get into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So Duggan 105, I don't really think he has any relevance at all. 41, 27, 20, 17. He just had a good first quarter where he took, 4 marks in there, and they laid 3 tackles. So he already had, 24 non-disposal points in the first quarter. So that was a big chunk. And then again in the second, he actually laid quite a lot of disposals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 disposals in the second. And then again in the third, he laid, no tackles, but then 2 more marks, and then another no marks in the last as well. So he ended up only 6 marks and 3 tackles, but seems like it was around about 30 odd touches. McGovern 103, again showing he's still got something left in the tank, but no one else is going with them. Elliot Yeo 98, he looked really good in the fourth quarter and in the first. Not the best in the third. Would have liked to have seen him get a couple more touches to get that over to like a 105. But a 98 from him. Happy that I don't have another trade out target. Hunt 90. Thought he did really well in the last quarter. That was a bad joke. I was sort of watching him and Reed. As many of you know, I traded out Reed, and kind of happy that I did, because he only gained 27k, and his break-even Reed now is not necessarily small. It's still 18, and he'll slowly go through the paces and go up. But I think it could be a slow burn, and I'd rather move on to guys that are quicker. Or potential top liner scores, like a Billings could potentially pop another huge score sometime, as he really didn't do anything and got 70, and has Port Adelaide and then Brisbane, which is quite tough, but then post bye he has quite a convincing run, so he may be one of the last guys that I upgrade. But yeah, so I don't really think Reed is going to be that relevant this year, to be honest. Hunt, Kelly, Cole, Cripps, Jimby, Hoff 66. So Jimby I thought was actually pretty good, and I think he's one that to watch in the third year. Waterman, Reeds, Barras looked pathetic, to be honest with you. It was as simple as that. He just didn't look good enough, and he had, I think, the Jesse Hogan assignment, and Jesse convincingly beat him today. Or yesterday, I should say. I think Jesse even kicked 2 goals, 2 or something like that. Only 70, but you can just see, look at the difference in the scoring. 71 over here is up here. So it just shows a sort of difference in the scoring of players. Brockman, Long, Jones, Edwards, Chester I thought was really good. Although it was really only the third quarter that he's shown. If he can put together a full game, he will start to be... not really relevant, but just sort of, he will really start to get his output up. Darling, Williams, Jamison, Barnett subbed out on 29 in the third quarter, so at least some cash gen out of him, and hopefully they play him again, because I thought he looked all right. And against GWS, I mean, hopefully next week they play Western Bulldogs, that maybe against Sam Darcy he can get a little bit better ruck time. And then Marek 23. GWS, Tom Green 120, he did really well. Again, he just continues to do what he continues to do. It's as simple as that. He's a Brownlow favourite. Wouldn't be surprised if he's on 8 or 7 votes at the moment, probably in and around the same marker as Isaac Heaney. Both of those boys are leading the charge, I would think, at this point. But obviously it's so early in the season, and you could see Nick Dacos pick up form and start to really rake it in. Briggs 111. Back to his form. A couple of down weeks, but 111 against a West Coast side. I mean, admittedly, it's probably worth about 80 against a normal side. Connor Ardern, he did really well across the board, and then Lockie Whitfield, pretty good. I would like to have seen a third quarter where he scored 27, 28 to get that sort of 110 marker, but I mean, he hasn't blown anyone that didn't have him out of the water. but he started all right. So I'm not too worried about him, and him having a bye, I guess, sort of sucks. But if you can, if he can get through and be a top 6 defender this whole year and getting in for 855k, I'm not too worried. Kelly 101, yeah, had a big save. I heard that in the on Twitter with him having not the best first half, but a 72 second half really got him going, and could have easily pushed on towards that sort of 110 range. Harvey Thomas, a guy that we're going to bring in post-buy, simple as that. I mean, he's already 270k, I think, 270, I want to say. Thomas is 267k. We'll bring him in post-buy. He will be the new Seth Campbell, but we'll have a break-even of like minus 20 or something. Yeah, minus 23. He'll have a minus 20 break-even next time. And if he stays on field, for that type of price, he will be... if he stays in the best 18, he will start to put up numbers. Yes, it was against West Coast that he scored 100, but with a minus 23 break-even, it was basically what Chandler did last year, and I feel like he can put those sort of 70, 80 scores, which will be good enough. Perriman, Daniels, Taylor... no real relevance for fancy. Bedford, Buckley, Harry Himmelberg, again, sort of showing that I think he's going to be a 75 type of guy. I don't think he's really going to have much relevance. He didn't really have that smash quarter that we were seeing last year, where he put up, I think, a 160 bomb last year. Only really only 7 marks there, so not really getting those big mark games. And I think Whitfield being back has really hampered him, enabling by just not getting the ball as much. If he just needs that extra sort of 5 touches and an extra couple of marks. If he could get average sort of that 9 mark a game, lay 1 or 2 tackles, because it doesn't look like he laid like any tackles. 1 tackle, looks like he laid 2 tackles the whole game. If you can start laying 4 tackles, 9 marks, and having 20 kicks, that's where you start to get to the range where he becomes relevant. But yeah, he just hasn't become relevant at all. Callahan looked all right, but again, it's a GWS side where you've got the likes of Whitfield, Kelly, Green, Toby Green as well running the show, so doesn't really have much fancy relevance. Callahan yet will in future, probably when he gets sort of to that year 5 or 6 and becomes probably an on-baller. Jesse Hogan 71, just didn't have that bag that we sort of expected him to have. He kicked 2 goals 2 it looks like, so yeah, didn't really kick on and have that sort of big 5 or 6 goal bag that we thought could happen against West Coast. Toby Green 69 had a really good first half and then faded massively again, just showing that with the GWS lineup that they have, it really the points scored really goes to Whitfield, Kelly, Green and Cogs at the moment, so no one else really gets any of it, and Toby Green's just going to be stuck, I think, in the 70-80 range. I thought he'd really kick on, but just seems like he's not. I mean, he hasn't kicked any goals yet, basically. He's kicked like 2 goals in 3 games. So I wouldn't be surprised if he kicks on eventually. But at the moment, he may be sort of a luxury trade come season's end rather than sort of out of the buys. But we'll wait and see on that one. I don't know what to expect out of Toby Green, because I thought he'd be better than this. We've seen him go in the midfield before and do it. It just seems like at the moment he's being stuck at half forward and not really getting the amount of touches that he probably deserves given the impact he can have on a game. Cadman was really good, 68. Not really, well, I mean, for those people that started him, really fancy relevant because he got up to like 330k, but you trade him out now. Trade him down to 200k or 220k like Manor or something like that. And then you get all the cash that he made, somewhere around that 100k or so that he made, and yeah, you get that and you start fixing up a lot of hassle that came in the back line. And then down here, Peatling Brown, Ash subbed out on 18. He's been really poor ever since that round 0. I mean, there was a lot of the content creators saying that he would be a good pick over the likes of Whitfield, and one's gone one way, one's gone the other, so happy that I went Whitfield over Ash. And yeah, I've definitely learned a lot about round 0 and how to play it, as well as just sort of I've made a lot of mistakes this year, and hopefully I can fix them up. I mean, it is probably going to be more of a super coach year, better super coach year for me than fancy at the moment with how it's tracking. but hopefully I can catch up. I can catch a lucky break or something like that, as I am just getting hammered week in, week out on the same line in the defensive line, in the rookie defensive line, and I cannot seem to get a pick to save myself. So I'm probably going to be back in the pack because I'm going to be a week or two behind the rest of the people. So that sucks, but that can sort of happen, I guess. So I'm just going to try and catch up the best that I can. But anyway, that is the video there, and I guess you will see my team recap video on Tuesday, as well as sort of I'll see what the schedule has in store for that, but you'll get all the videos out before Thursday, even though given that we had one less, it may mean that Tuesday may have one less video, or Wednesday will, but we'll wait and see on that one. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.